What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. So, I did a video talking about this a couple of days ago about how it appears to me that Donald Trump is clearly ducking Kamala Harris when it comes to a one-on-one debate. Initially, he sort of, from what I've read, he's sort of semi-committed to a debate, but then I read the other day he backed off saying, I don't have to debate her because I'm in the lead. So why should I debate her? That's loser talk, man. And that's that type of approach, that trying to sit on your lead approach. That's a surefire way to lose. Okay. Ask Tom Dewey. A lot of candidates who have had huge leads and were not on the attack wound up losing. Tom Dewey, 1948, by all metrics, should have beaten Harry Truman in 1948. The Democratic Party was split on both ends. The right wing of the party, the Dixiecrats, bolted at the convention at the mere thought of civil rights being mentioned on the platform at the DNC that year. They bolted, formed their own party. Strom Thurmond carried 4 states, if I remember correctly, in the South. And on the left, the far left, Henry Wallace, former Vice President of the United States and communist sympathizer, ran on the socialist ticket. Both men got over 1 million votes that election. And it was expected that they would draw enough votes away so to make it impossible for Harry Truman to win. But what happened was Harry Truman was the one on the defensive. Dewey just kept trying to sit on his lead, giving nonsensical speeches, not trying to rock the boat. Your future is ahead of you and all this stuff. And he lost. He should, and he started getting an indication that he was in trouble because he started noticing in October his crowds were getting smaller and smaller. And the crowds weren't really interested. They weren't responding to his speeches. His instincts told him, I need to go on the attack on Truman. His advisors said, no, just sit on your lead. Just stay the course. Harry Truman campaigned like hell. The crowd started getting bigger and bigger, but the pollsters said, no, this election is over. And we saw what happened. Michael Dukakis had a 17-point lead after the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, 1988. A 17-point lead. Bush campaign went on a complete negative attack on Dukakis. Now you could argue it turned off a lot of voters, but it won. And Dukakis waited too long to start responding, and he lost. Jimmy Carter almost lost in 1976. He had a 32-point lead after the convention. This is after Watergate. He was leading in the one particular poll 62-29. He should have beat Gerald Ford in a landslide. He barely won because he didn't run a strong campaign, and Ford got more on the attack on Carter. So my point is, Donald Trump thinking that he could just simply sit on his lead and have, subordinates attack Kamala and, use the race play, the race angle at Kamala and DEI and all this stuff. He's going to lose doing that stuff, man. He needs to stay on the attack if he wants to win. Stay on the attack her record. Attack her record. And debate her. Because the media, if the media has it their way, they're just going to prop her up, make her Obama, the female Obama, and keep attacking Trump, because the debate is the one time when he can be on stage with her and try to expose her as an empty suit. That if you take away the crowds, you take away the smile, you take away the scripted speeches, and you actually try to get her to discuss policy and try to indicate that she can be an effective administrator, if she can't do that, then no matter how much they try to spin it, the American people are going to see that. Remember, CNN tried to spin, to a certain extent, Biden's debate performance, but he couldn't survive it because the American people saw the truth. But what I suspect with Donald Trump is a couple of things. As I said before, he's a bully. He knows Joe Biden was weak. Trump is used to dealing with and beating up on weaker people. You know what I'm saying? This Joe Biden is in a weakened state. It's not the same Joe Biden from 10 plus years ago. But I think Donald Trump is intimidated by Kamala because she's younger. More actually, you can question her grasp on the issues, but I suspect that Kamala, when properly motivated, can be a quick study. I just think that a lot of times she's just not motivated to actually do her goddamn job, except when it can benefit her or she can make some sort of advancement or it can lead to something better. But I think running for president of the United States should be a quick study. And plus, she's in the know. She's definitely going to be there getting those briefings with the president. Now that she's running for the office, she's going to get daily briefings. Now she's paying attention to that stuff. And Donald Trump's on the outside, so he's not going to be aware of certain things. Plus, I suspect he's aware of the optics, too. Now, he's the older candidate. Now, he's the one pushing 80. She's a relatively youthful 59. She's an attractive person. The attacks that he's used to putting at people about their looks or their age or whatever, he can't really do that with Kamala. The most he can do is try to insult her as far as her intelligence. But when you're doing that with her, it comes across with her as misogynistic because it goes a little bit too far. Nobody really liked Hillary Clinton. But, for the most part, Trump was attacking her record, the emails, and all these other things. With Kamala, it's being more and more aimed as personal attacks. And I think that's turning off some voters. And to a certain extent, I think another thing that's going on, this is my opinion, I think some people are starting to remember why they didn't like Donald Trump. Remember, absence makes the heart grow fonder, or at least less aware of why we didn't like you in the first place. Remember, we were getting tired of Trump after one term. And I think some people are kind of remembering why they didn't like him. So, I think that some of those things are the reason why he doesn't want to debate her. The optics and the fact that he doesn't want to be outclassed. See, it wasn't that difficult to out-debate Biden at this point. You can barely understand him sometimes. It's like Muhammad Ali from 1981. You can barely understand what he was saying sometimes, and Trump was just sharper than him. But when he doesn't have an advantage, I think it intimidates him. He comes across as one of the most boastful and cocky and arrogant and confident persons, but I think that's to cover up a lot of insecurities. And I've never been convinced that Donald Trump, he's not a policy guy. He's not. Reagan wasn't necessarily a facts and figures guy, but Trump really isn't at all. And I think he doesn't want to get exposed for that. He kind of got away with that with Trump, the slick talking car salesman angle. But with Kamala, I think he knows he might not be able to get away with that. She's going to be quicker than Biden. And I think, like I said, he doesn't want to have to deal with all of that. But he has to. He has to because that's his shot. That's the one time. That's the one time on air where, hey, if his cause is just, he can expose her. So that's how I look at it, at least, man. And yes, I know she ducked him at the recent Black Journalist convention or forum, whatever the hell you want to call it. I know I did a video about that. So, like I said, I don't play favorites on here. I've been going at the Democrats more because they have been fucking up more. But now Trump is starting to mess up. And that VP pick of his, I was completely wrong on that one. JD Vance has been a disaster. And Josh Shapiro, if he is the nominee, if he will be the vice presidential nominee for the Democrats, he completely destroyed JD Vance in a recent Q&A with reporters. I mean, he destroyed him. Called him out for what he was, a phony. He is. He's a phony. He's a phony and a weirdo. Just obsessed with children. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Make you think some things about him, bro. But anyway, what you guys think?